Nearly 30 years ago, I was going through a very dark time in my life. I had had a sports injury, broken back. I was working with a mandate to either reduce programs in my academic university, to fire faculty. And I was also going through a time of very soul-searching thoughts about science and religion. And I was really mentally in a bad spot and emotionally. There's a text that I'd like to read that kind of caps a series of experiences that I want to share with you. It comes from Ezekiel, the first chapter, the 28th verse. The light shining around him was like a rainbow. It was the glory of God. As soon as I felt it, I put my face to the ground. I bowed, and I could hear the voice of God. My wife and I were driving from Portland, going east down the Columbia Gorge, a beautiful, beautiful drive. Sun was out, and then the rain started, and a beautiful double rainbow arched over the entire Columbia Gorge. As we continued to drive, the double rainbow became smaller, going from edge to edge of the river. We turned a corner, and the rainbow arched perfectly over the road in front of us. As we continued to drive, the rainbow, the double rainbow, arched from one corner of my front bumper to the other. And I turned to my wife and said, "Can you imagine this? And I don't have my camera." A week later, I was back on the western part of Washington State in the Puget Sound, where for many years I did research. And I was leaving Protection Island going back to Rosario Beach, the Marine station for Walla Walla College. I was by myself in my Boston whaler moving along the water. The rains came again. I looked to the east, and up over the Cascade Mountains was this gorgeous double rainbow from land to land. Turned down the motor and just stared at it. And a pilot whale reached right underneath this beautiful scene. And again my thought was, and I don't have my camera. It was only a couple of days later that I was driving back from the Marine station to Walla Walla College through Hanford Reservation. And I had been intensely praying, God, help me with my unbelief. My science and religion had come into conflict. I was having to make decisions that impacted lives of people that I cared about and loved, and my back was just screaming at me physically. As I drove along, I was quite discouraged. I wanted to give it up, possibly leave my job, do something else, just to get away from the pain. As I was driving along, the rains came again. And once again, to the east, a double rainbow comes up over the sky. And three pronghorns stood up on a rock in the center of this. And it emotionally hit me so hard that God was trying to communicate to me through the nature that I love. And I had to pull over my car to the side of the road, and I cried like a baby. As I have looked back to that moment in my life, I realized that God didn't give me answers. He didn't tell me how to vote. He didn't tell me how to sort out the issues of creation and evolution that I was struggling with. He didn't heal me instantaneously from the pain. But in a sense that was so almost audible, almost hearing the voice of God, it became clear to me that those three events were saying, Ron, I am with you. I have a promise that I'll be with you. And you should make your own decisions based on your heart and your mind. But just remember, I love you, and I'm with you for always.